Today we are joined with Elise, who is going to give us a bit of a background of her career decisions and the choices she's made in joining the construction industry and the reasons why and how she ended up in her career today. So Elise, can you tell us a bit about your education, the subjects you enjoyed at school and the subjects you chose and why?
Yes, thank you for having me. So my name is Elise. I'm a civil engineer by background. So I studied at school civil engineer, but before that I chose the subject of mathematics, physics and chemistry, which was quite a bold choice in my school. But they were the subject I found the most exciting, really. And I didn't have a clear idea of which job I wanted to do, but I just wanted to know more about the subject. And little by little, it led me to civil engineers, which is a subject I didn't know when I started.
Yeah. So from that, I've got to ask, what would you say they are the most suitable subject choices for civil engineering, or would you suggest there's other avenues into going into civil engineering in terms of subjects?
So I don't really know in terms of studying in the UK, but because I studied in France, but generally I would expect, yes, it's a more scientific road to it. So maybe math and physics, but I guess there might be other subjects which I don't know, because now there is so many different subjects that are maybe more suited to be to the engineering studies in general.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So you started your career in civil engineering. What other jobs have you worked in? What other sectors? What type of career roles have you had so far in your career?
So I started as an engineer on site on a railway project. And it was, at the beginning, it was more quality verification of the jobs. So it was not all the design aspect that you could do being a civil engineer. It was more on-site work. And so I worked in many train rail project. And then I worked as well on a wastewater plant, because obviously you can apply the civil engineering principle to any different kind of structure. And then I moved towards the claim side, and then I open up to a big variety of projects, being highways, defense, submarines, hospital, buildings, bridges, any sorts of things.
Which one was your favourite and why? What type of project was your favourite?
Type of project, probably railways, just because I work on site on this kind of projects. So to me, when I read documents or when I see this project, it really talks to me because I've been there and I know how it's done. I don't really like large projects such as LNG plant or oil and gas plant, because it's just too big. Yeah, I think it's, and I like the train. I like the fact that it connects people, it connects area. It serves a real purpose in the society for the countries.
So for civil engineering, is that something you need to get chartered in, and something that you suggest is needed, or how do you feel about charterships?
Well, you will have two ways. You can either do it through your studies and get very academic in the sense that you get your A levels, you go to university, you do your bachelor's of science, you do a master, you can even do a PhD after, or you can just do your A level, go on site, start your career on site, progressing, and then you can, as you go along, you get certified by the Royal Academies or things like this that are in this engineering. Yes, this engineering background.
Yeah, you mentioned before about that you then switched into claims work. What made you want to switch into claims work, and how did you get into that?
When I was on site, I had a lot, there was some issue about compensation events where things gone wrong and you wanted to be compensated for. And little by little, because I had all the records from what happened, I was working closely with the quantity surveyor that needed to put the claim together. And it was really a subject that interested me. So for my next role, when the project was finished, I tried to switch towards quantity surveying and do more of the claim documents. And that's how I switched. It's really by curiosity, you know, something interested me, and I tried to go more towards that.
Yes, that's really interesting. So your qualifications are in civil engineering, but you've through
Yes,
like learning on the job, you've managed to get into quantity surveying as well. So
exactly. Yes,
yeah,
yes. So that's why. Yeah, there is two roads. There is the road that your study gives to you, and there is the road that when you start doing, you realize there is job that you didn't know about before, and you can go towards those through your experience.
so which one do you prefer? Which one suits your skill set? Quantity surveying and civil engineering. Which one's best for you?
I think at the end of the day was quantity surveying, because it's something you discover you really like and something that attracts you, so you feel more suited toward this. Everybody likes to do what they like, so in a way. So, but when you study, you don't know this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. When you're studying, you don't, until you're applying it in real life, you don't necessarily
Yes.
know whether it's the job for you. Do you feel like having the civil engineering background has made you an even better quantity surveyor because you've got this sort of extra, knowledge in another field?
Yes, I mean what you study is never lost, and you can always use this to apply to your new role in a way. So personally, for me, it helps me a lot because I understand how the the plant is built. It also at the heart of the project, how things are built, and therefore it helps me to understand how the cost and the measures of the different items fit together. So I will know straight away if something's not right or something should be done differently. I can have this kind of vision, let's say.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say that between the two, civil engineering and quantity surveying, would you say that one involves far more, I don't know, working hours or travel time, or one involves more traveling to different destinations, one's more on site than another? What would you say to that?
Yes, I think some civil engineer will require you to work on site, mainly because you need to follow the progress of the job and you need to see exactly what's happening on site. Whereas quantity surveying, you might be more in an office and then go regularly on site, but maybe once a week or once every few days, or you have visits with other people. Whereas as a civil engineer, you might be going there every day to just check things.
Yeah.
So it's a bit different. Yeah.
So what do you do now, Elise? What's your current type of work that you're involved in?
My current type of work is working as an expert witness. So that will be in the context of arbitration, for example, and when the tribunal needs help in assessing cost and delay on the dispute of the project. So that's one part of the job. The other part is as well. Sometimes I work with clients directly and help them to build up their claim before they go to arbitration or before they do negotiation. So this is more. It's more working on projects that are finished, that are complete.
Can you give us a bit of background and explain the difference between claims work and expert witness work?
Yes, so for the claims work, you work very closely with the contractor, for example, or with the owner of the infrastructure, and you work with them to try to build up their claim and see where are their costs, why there is those costs, and you start substantiating them. Whereas the expert witness, you're really there to work for the tribunal, your duties to the tribunal, and you have to assess the claim that are made by the claimant in an independent way and tell the tribunal what is your opinion in terms of those claims.
What would you say is the skill set needed to be an expert?
to be an expert, you need to be very cold and clinical, like almost depassionate from it, because you need to be objective and independent and not advocating for your party. So you need to be extremely neutral in everything you do and every assessment. And as well, you need to be providing different options for the tribunal. So you need to be very, let's say, open-minded in a way, because you need to accept that sometimes the way you see things is not the way it is, and there is another way, and you just need to put yourself in those shoes to give an assessment as well. So you need to be a bit more to be more flexible, let's say.
Yeah. Do you need any qualifications to develop these skills? Is there any courses you recommend or you think is needed?
You can go with the RICS, the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyor, and they help you to prepare for this type of work. You can go as well with the Academy of Experts, which provides a training course for this. There is as well some training course about being the expert witness. There is different courses, but most of it you would need to have your experience really, and having worked on projects. That's the main thing.
Yeah, learning on the job. Yeah.
Learning on the job, and then because then you see, you understand, and you see, and you can provide valuable opinions.
Yes, I agree. So what type of value projects have you worked on from, the beginning of your career to where you are now?
I started to work on the West Coast Main Line, for people who know what is it. It's in Manchester, and it was a rail project that was there. I worked as well on the Eurostar line to be constructed, arriving in St. Pancras instead of Waterloo. So that was the small job. Then the bigger job I worked were for this expert witness and claims work, where I worked on the big coal-fired plant, for example, in South Africa, that had a 6 set of boilers. I work as well on LNG plant and metro line. Yes, this kind of project.
Yeah, I've probably got a difficult question now, but what advice or recommendation would you give to somebody that's trying to decide which type of field to go into, whether it's rail or, highways, or how do they make that decision? What advice would you
I would say to go with, okay, it's a bit simple, but to go with your guts. If you like something, go with it, because at the end of the day, you spend so much time in working that it's something that you like. So, no matter, it's not a matter so much of where it's going to get you. It's a matter of you enjoying it and growing into it. Because after you can find, even with one road you can change as well. If you don't like it, you will go in another somewhere else. But that your experience is never lost anyway. So you can always use it.
I like that. That's so true. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Elise. You've really given us so much information, and it's been great having you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Anytime. Thank you. Bye.